The following is an interview that I shot with Ken Roczen. This interview was recorded on the 12th of October 2014 and was for a project that was never released. First off, we'll talk about, like, have you ever heard people say, like, oh, fuck, I was in the zone?
Yeah.
You have that feeling when you win races?
When I'm racing, you sometimes just get into literally that zone where it just seems like everything's going right, and that's when you start killing it. There's different levels of racing. Sometimes it comes to you a little bit easier, sometimes not, but then there's just that feeling when you're going faster than everyone, better than everyone else, and that's what I would call being in the zone.
So, what's the process of getting in the zone? Is it something that just happens? Is it something that you're better at over time? Like,
the process of getting into the zone, most of the time everybody tries to do it or does it before you start, basically, meaning not even when the 30-second board's out, but even before that, just really focus and really concentrate of, what you're going to do. Obviously, you can't plan the race, but you really just want to get all your stuff together and put in the focus that you need to be able to win.
So, what's it like? People say that it feels like time slows down, you can't hear anything else, you don't have any other thoughts in your head, or like, what's your experience of it?
My experience of being in the zone is you don't notice anything around in my eyes, but what you're doing, you're riding, looking at the track, and you're like every time I race actually or ride, I literally think of nothing. It's just really blank, and you just put in that focus that you need, to hit everything right and to not make mistakes, or going down. You want to minimize that as much as you can.
Is there anything else in your life that gets you in the zone?
I don't think there's anything else in life that gets me in the zone, really, because riding dirt bikes is what I do for a living. That's what I do, what I've done for a long time, and that's where I can get myself into the zone because I have enough experience. I've been doing it my whole life, and that's when you really, when you're willing and when you're able to fight for every little tenth of a second on the track.
So you just won an AMA title, which makes you arguably one of the best people in the world. Why are you different? So, like, we spoke about it before, like, what makes you different to Tickle that lets you just be, you're on another level? How do you explain it?
What makes a rider and what not is, I really think you either way have it or you don't. You as you were born, you're meant to do it. Like other people have, they skate, and then there's a top level, and then shit. We heard it. You hear that?
Shut her off. Yeah. So, what makes you different? Why are you special?
I think when you are born, you either way have it or you don't. Not just in riding dirt bikes, but also any other sports you do. Snowboarding, jet skiing, skating, BMXing. There's just, there's always going to be people that are averagely good, and then there's people that are top level, and it really just depends how you grow up, and it's talent. If you can combine talent with the work ethic to be able to have really good fitness, you're going to be one of the top guys. And there's that's why everybody's different in anything. That's just how it is. If we all would be the same, it'd be kind of weird. So it's just something that you have or you don't. And obviously you can get better. That's what training's for. But like I said, if you can combine having the talent and a little bit of extra technique combined with good fitness, you're going to be the guy.
So why do you think that, like, you can be better than, say, a Tickle every weekend? Like, he trains just as hard, or, maybe not just as hard, but he's right there. But, like, even if he was as fit as you, there's guys that are never going to be a champion. But so what's the difference?
What makes the difference in riders is it comes with judging and how easy it comes to you, really. For other people going, let's say, a 56-second lap time, it comes easy to them, where for me, like for example on that same track would be 56 would just be, that's like I wouldn't want to go any slower. It's good, but I think your standards just get higher. If you're, you level yourself. Obviously you can't expect more than you're able to do, but you make the call, you know how good you are, and that's the attitude you gotta have when you go on the track. You gotta be confident, and confidence is a huge thing, but it's really just if you're a better rider than the other person or not, and you just go on the track and you do a lap time that's all right, or you do a lap that's all right, for where that lap time for other people would be their best lap time, but you know your limits, and you have to push them, and you can control how slow or fast you go.
You were talking about like your upbringing. How you were raised, how much do you think that contributes to being a champion?
How you're raised from your parents, it contributes a lot for later on. That's why there's so many, I would say, families or riders out there that are so different. My dad used to, I always switched to the bigger bike really early, and I was 13 years old when I raced 250, and I was super small, but I would, tip over into a corner or something. Most of their dads, they'll start running and pick them up and go as fast as you can. My dad was just stand there and let me figure it out myself. And, it's a matter of maturity in my eyes, and it's just, that's how it, how you're raised. That's why some people are, they do good in life and others don't. It's your childhood, how you grow up, and what your standards are, really.
So you trained with Villo, Adam, and yourself, and there was that group dynamic. So like you're all kind of giving each other shit, and do you think there's just people that are more competitive and their personality makes them more of a winner? Like, do you feel like there's winning personalities and losing personalities?
There's definitely winning personalities and losing personalities. You gotta have the right mindset, and you gotta come into practice and racing, almost kind of like a cocky attitude, just because that makes a huge difference. Mentality and everything, it shows in your riding, So I would say, your thinking, your mentality, and obviously, you gotta have fun, but, once you go on the track, there has to be a particular zone you have to get in, and a particular attitude you have to ride with to be able to do better than everyone else.
So you battled Dungey for this outdoor championship, right? Can you see a difference in your attitude compared to his? Like, did you the whole way through that championship, did you know that you were going to win, and like, you know what I mean? Like, is there like, you can see weakness, or
so what you want to do when you're going for a championship is that you wanna know the other guy's weaknesses, and you kind of watch him, and I would say it's easier if you have a teammate because you're around him so much. So if he gets the right or wrong picture of you, I wouldn't say scare, but it definitely gets that person worried, and you want to try to, or obviously there's different mentalities if you're kind of a weak person or not, and if it bothers you or not. But you want to get in their head and, already try to win the race off the track,
And do you feel like you do that sometimes? Like, there's just days when you know that you're going to be the dude.
For sure, there's you notice it once you wake up, when your body's all loose and it feels good and you feel strong, then you definitely know, man, today's the day where you can lay it down. Or you wake up sometimes and be like, I'm feeling a little bit on the edge, and but still you gotta have the right attitude. That's a big thing. If you're waking up and you're kind of like, oh, today's not gonna be my day, and blah blah blah. If you put that in your mind, it's not gonna be your day. So you have to try to overcome that and make the best out of it. Mentality changes a lot of things.
So when you were training with Ryan and Adam, you've got the champ there, and was it almost like a power struggle between you and him was he trying to dominate you mentally? Was there games that you played, or do you think he helped you see a winning attitude? Or?
When me and RV and Adam trained together, it was really just I never thought anything of that he wants to try to break me or get in my head or anything. We were really just riding, and we all have our days where I go better, he goes better, when we're equal. And it was just for me, he was a champ, and I know he was going to be up there again, so it was a good judge for me. And we were really close, and that always, it relaxes your mind a little bit for sure. And you go into Anaheim 1 knowing, look, you trained with basically the fastest guy or the guy that won the last 3 championships out there, so you can't be that bad.
Yeah. So, if there was no motocross or supercross, how would you get that feeling? Is that it? Is that why you'd have to do that? Because, you want to win and you want to have that fun feeling on the bike. So if there was no motocross or supercross, would there be a hole inside you to get that feeling?
If there wouldn't be motocross or supercross, I don't think I would have grown up with that sport. I think there would have been a different sport where I would have the same mentality. And I'm really competitive no matter what I do. I could be playing poker, or I could be throwing darts. I want to win no matter what I do. So, if we wouldn't really have our sport, I think I would. I'm a sports guy, so I would definitely do something else with the exact same mentality. But right now it's hard for me to imagine because, this sport is the only sport that gives me that feeling that I have every time I go out riding, try to get better and everything, Obviously, if you choose a different sport and you do that every day, I'm sure you'll get that same feeling. But, for example, a BMX freestyler, I would say they have the same feeling, but in a little bit in a different direction, which is pretty sick too, because they have to crank the best tricks and be clean and all those kind of things. So, but, ours is also one of the toughest sport, It's not only just about... It's not just about technique, you have to put in the work really to be there in the end of the year, and it's definitely one of the toughest sports for your fitness.
What I think makes motocross so tough too is Formula One, they don't drive the cars. MotoGP, they don't test the bikes. There's all these sports where you're not doing and they're risky as fuck. You can die every time you ride a MotoGP bike or a Formula One car, but Formula One, it's one of the safest things in the world in terms of the car build. You guys have to go out and ride 5 days a week, where the same risk on a race day is the same all the way through the week. And as tired as you get on a race day, you're putting yourself through that every time. Is it hard mentally just to even get on the bike and, you just at so much risk all the time? Does that ever weigh you down at all?
You don't want to put the risk in your mind, because that's when things go wrong. You really just got to go out there and obviously you got to trust in the bike. Sometimes it's not even your fault and, you have a big crash, but you want to try, with your strength and fitness, you can minimize the mistakes and the crashes. So every time you go on there, it's in your hands. And the other thing is, we're not strapped in like in a Formula One car, for example, so I would say it's definitely one of the riskiest sport out there. And like you said, you have the same risk doing practice 4 or 5 times a week than when you go to the race, but that's what we love, it comes with it, and it is just the way it is. You try to not really think about the risk or anything bad too much, because you really just want to go out there and have fun and push your limits. Once you start thinking about the bad things, about how risky it is, then it could bite you.
How much of training with Alden is about just the mental side of it too that he brings? Because he won with Ricky, he hasn't lost with anyone. So when you work with Alden, how much does that help you, like help your mindset?
It doesn't really matter who you train with. It's really just if you put in your work, you at one point after all the work and you can feel your body is strong and fit, you have that confidence where you're like, look, I'm going to the races. I did more than anybody else, or I'm fitter than anybody else, and that shows on the track. And that's really the mentality you gotta have, no matter who you train with. You can train by yourself, but if you have that mental strength to do it every single day, put in your work, and you gotta listen to your body. There's times where you have to step back, but it doesn't really matter who you train with. If you've done your work and you feel your body is good, you go out there with the mentality that you're the best out there, and it shows on the track.
So we'll just finish by talking about that whole just the whole level thing. So you're going into a turn and you're not stressed. You're 80%, but a dude will just keep saying tickle. He's at 100%. Why is that level when he's probably rode a dirt bike the exact same amount of hours as you? How is that different?
In whatever sport you do, it comes to people easier than to others. Other people have to work more for the speed, for everything, and people that have a lot of talent, they'll just go out on the track and they'll be like, dude, I'll just throw a lap down. And for other people, it's like, whoa, dude, I really got to try hard. And other people don't have to try hard. So it's really just your character and again, your talent. Some people are talented, others are not, and that shows on the track. That's what, when you're talented, you're able to get all those little tenth of a second that other people, other riders that are not as talented, don't even think about it, don't even try, and their limit is just way lower than a talented rider's limit.
So, do you think that you can explain what talent is? You know what I mean? So, is it something that you think you're going to be do you think we could explain?
Talent is hard to explain. Again, you do whatever sport you do, and there's people that are talented in everything. They learn quick. Whatever they do, they step on there, and it just seems like they have that. They already have that. Even though when it doesn't work 100% right away, and you're not pro right away, but you can just see you have that, or that person has that little something, what it takes to be a pro. And talent is just hard. It's hard to explain, but I think you just get it. You just have it in your blood. For example, Travis Pastrana, whatever he does, he's good at it. He does double backflips on a downhill bike, whatever. He does on a dirt. He does the gnarliest tricks now on a dirt bike. There's triple backflips that are trying now, and all those kind of things. Where other people wouldn't even think about that. First off, the risk, but he has that mentality. He says, look, I can do it. And then there's other people that are like, I wouldn't even try. So it's, again, you have it in your blood. There's those special people out there that have it.
Have you ever been in your career where maybe when you were younger, or when you were have you ever just wondered why you got your ability, or have you ever questioned why you, or have you ever has it ever been something you've thought about, or is it just something you've kind of just kind of gone with it?
Yeah, I've never really asked myself why I am who I am and why I'm good at what I do. It is really just, you just do it, you're glad, but it's just something, in my eyes, I'm not good enough. You want to be better, every day. That's what you train for. You want to be better because you feel like you don't have that limit yet that you can actually run. So I never really thought about, why I'm good at what I do, but it's maybe a good thing sometimes to think about that and think about what you can do better, and it gives you a happy feeling if you think about that. You're good, and there's people that admire you, and they're I'm their idol, and it's just a great feeling to have.
Sweet. Alright. That'll probably do us.
Alright, come.
We'll just start talking the same shit.
Have it or you don't, You can't learn talent, You can't teach talent. You can have a riding coach that tells you have to put your elbows up, but in the end, fuck. That's why we have so many styles. some people have their elbows down, but it still fucking works. It's the same with golf. Some people have an ugly swing, but it works. You know, it really just you have to figure it out yourself. Whatever works the best for you. If you're comfortable, then you have to stick with what you have and try to improve on that. You know.
Oh, ich höre auch einen Lob für Kelly, aber das ist eigentlich das Training, gell? Dieses Zirkulieren da mit der 450. Das ist. Hier wird der Armer gar nicht fahren, weißt du? So, und das ist das, was es letztendlich bringt. Weil mit richtig Glück, da haut jeder rein und macht jeder Glück.
How's it all going out here today, Brew?
Looking good. Track not the best, but riding good. So.
Gut, viele Glück was für viele.
When you get really low in the RPM.
So I was wondering because that rear felt really like in between those triples back there.
Yeah, the tire's gone.
Hey, where's Anthony Baggio at?
Best track condition you'll ever see.
Did you do a skid?
Big skid and almost wadding it and.
Yeah.